Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing okay and that you're comfortable and that you're finding solutions with your Sjogrens. I just wanted to do a quick intro before we get into the video. Really sorry that it's in my bedroom. I've moved again. It's not forever, it's temporary, but I think I'll be here for a couple of months and it's so much better. In fact, I should have filmed downstairs in the living room. But anyway, we're here now. And for those of you who are new, my name is Raha and I have Sjogrens. And I am feeling a lot better with my Sjogren symptoms, mainly due to a protocol that I follow with Jeremy from Beyond Sjogren. And that's what this whole video is about, to show you how I'm doing after a year of being on this protocol. It was really funny because I asked him how long we wanted the video to be, and he said, oh yeah, just 10-15 minutes. So I think I said 15 minutes, and he's like, no, 10 minutes. We don't want it to be too long, you know. When he and I start talking, I don't know what happens, but we go on forever. So 2 hours later, yeah, I think that's pretty much when the video stopped. So this is a shorter video than part 2, and we're going to get into it and then watch the rest in the next video. So in this video is what I can remember. We talk about how I'm doing, how I compare to this time last year. Oh yeah, and then about energy, and Jeremy will explain more about mitochondria. But I really hope that this video will give you encouragement, will give you hope, will let you know that it is possible to get better with Sjogren's and much better with the symptoms, because I am much better. But if you have any questions for me or Jeremy, do leave them in the comments below. And if you would like me to talk about something more specifically that I touch on in this video and the following videos, let me know. Put them in the comments below and I will make a video out of it. I hope you're all doing okay, and I'm sending you so much love and well wishes, and I will see you soon. Bye. Jeremy.
Hi, Raha.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Good.
Yeah,
Nice to see you.
yeah, you too. It's been about a year since we started working together.
It has been pretty much a year and 4 days, I
Is that
think.
what it is? You're in for it. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So thank you for coming on to my channel again. And I just wondered if you could introduce yourself and let us know what you do, just for people who haven't been on my channel and don't know.
Okay, yeah. My name is Jeremy Guth. I am a nutritional therapist and functional medicine practitioner, and the founder of Beyond Sjogren's, where we help people with Sjogren's find relief from their symptoms using a natural approach by addressing their underlying root causes.
Yeah, okay. Very concise. Okay. So, as you know, the reason why I've asked you to come here is because we want to show the viewers how much better I'm doing since I started your protocol, and a year sounds like a good time to talk about.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it has been a year. It doesn't feel like that long.
It doesn't. We had our consultation on the 31st of July when you came back to me with the protocol.
Okay. So how have things changed over the last year? How's your life changed?
So just thank you so much, because you've given me my life back. My life has changed a lot. So I'm just going to explain what my life was like a little bit to people who don't know, who just new here. So when I came to you, I had severe fatigue and brain fog, and I was really struggling. When I say severe fatigue, there were times where I wouldn't get out of bed. I was always really just exhausted, gasping for breath to be able to have conversations, having to really pace myself, but the pacing was so limited. And things like if I needed to wash dishes, it was hard work, but I'd have to sit on a stool, wash a couple, go back to bed, rest 2 hours, or the next day later, come back and do the rest. If I did do something somehow, then I would say I went out, came back, then I would have to suffer for weeks, or a week, 2 weeks, a month. It just depends. I mean, it was kind of different, but the main thing was I had this feeling of fatigue all over me for all that time since 2021 until last year. And my brain fog was really bad as well. I would get words wrong and like turn around and just couldn't think, couldn't follow maps, things like that. Couldn't have conversations. I could not do this for too long without having to, have a week of not being well. So since then, so when I followed your protocol, I had to do it in bits because the first thing was the diet that I changed. Then there was the supplements. So before the supplements even came, I mean, this is just part of it, but before the supplements even came, just by tweaking my diet in the way that you told me what to add, you know that I was better within 5 days. I was able to walk up a hill when I couldn't even walk down the road. I felt like how I felt in my 20s when I was very healthy and fine and had all the energy. I was so happy. And then since then, just to say that in general, for example, a few weeks ago, I've had a lot to do. And I had an event a couple of days ago. And last year, before your protocol, I had the same type of event, the same place, and I videoed it actually. And I remember that all throughout the week before the event, I didn't know if I was going to make it. And I had to really pace myself because I was worried I wouldn't make it. And I felt very awful before the day. And I remember having to really finding it difficult to go up the station and all sorts of things. I had a terrible time with that. This time, instead of pacing myself the week before, I was house sitting, animal sitting, doing a photo shoot, packing because I'm moving somewhere else again, all these things before this event. And the more I did, this is new now, the more energy I'm getting.
Yeah.
What's that about, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, you're basically, I think that your energy producing systems are functioning, whereas like everything that happens in the body, if you don't use it, you lose it. Muscle, systems that are not functioning, they go out of commission basically. So let's say with your mitochondria, which is something we're focusing on, if they have the longer you're in a fatigue situation, the less you're moving, the less your mitochondria are working, so you'll have less of them. The body's not going to be maintaining as many mitochondria in your cells because it doesn't need them, because you're lying down all the time and you're sitting down to wash dishes. So it will continue to decline. There's going to be a bottom plateau, but now enough changed in nutritionally in that short period of time, and probably also emotionally combined.
Oh yes, there's a lot of that.
Emotional change plus nutritional change. So nutritional change is another way of saying physically your body has more to work with. That was enough to get the engine going, and then once the engine's going, it can pick up momentum, and then you'll be developing more mitochondria. Your cells will have more. Your body will be making more mitochondria. All of the systems in your body that are necessary to produce energy from your food or from your energy stores are kicked back into action, and then it will increase. So the more you do, the more exercise you can do, going from very, very minor. I remember, for example, you couldn't do yoga. I think, was that right?
No, I couldn't.
I couldn't
even raise my arm.
I remember you wanted to do yoga, you couldn't even do that. So going
stretches. I couldn't stretch.
Gentle movement is still, you be exercise at that level, but then from that to more, then you start going for walks and longer, and I think you even started running for buses at some point, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was in that first week.
That was crazy. So all of that's then upregulating all of your energy producing systems. So then you have a positive momentum.
And I really, what's going on? The more I'm doing, the more energy I'm getting. Whereas before, if I did one thing, that would make me crash and not give me any. So
because at that time, and this is what the problem that people have who are experiencing chronic fatigue, is that their energy producing systems don't have that capacity to do the kind of things that they have really force themselves to do. So
Yeah.
they know, most people either they're consciously aware of where their limits are, or they're not yet. They haven't yet learned where they are. So they'll very easily overdo it, and it's like revving your engine into the red, and you're going to
Yeah.
burn the engine. It's going to damage the engine. So then the next time you start your car, it's not going to start because there's all this burnt oil in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has very important to do it gradually, which is something that you did do quite well.
I did. I did. I was actually frightened at the beginning with all the energy I had because I wasn't used to it. So yeah, so I have energy in the sense that, now I can talk to people, I can stand, I can walk. I have gone to a couple of exercise classes. I'm going to start swimming. I just haven't because my swimsuit is in storage, but I'm going to get that out. And I do several things in a day, whereas before what I do in a day, I would probably do within a few months
Yeah,
before.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. And so, how has your life changed? You mentioned that when you get out more, what about the
But
quality
not
of
every
your life?
day.
Yeah, like the quality of
The,
your everyday life, like how, compared now, August 2024 compared to like August or like July 2023 or before that, how does it look different? Not just what you're doing, but more, I guess, on an emotional level as well, and just the quality of your life.
it's full. I feel fulfilled. The fact that I can speak to people, I can see people, I can socialize, I go to places. That event was an hour away, and I took photographs all day and came back on the same day. Last year, I had to stay there and rest. And I'm able to take my mom to a hospital appointment once in a while, help out where I couldn't before. I couldn't help her out for years. So just be able to talk to people, be part of the world, feel good, that fatigue feeling having gone.
I think
Um,
that you just reminded me as you said. I think you said you feel like a normal person. I think you used the word like
yes,
you feel like a normal person. You don't have
yes.
fatigue. So is it just like that feeling of normalness? Like
I do feel normal, but I have to say that there are some things that do set me back. But the things that have set me back have been, for example, my last place I think had black mold, so I was allergic to that, or the things that are not really related to Sjogren's as such or the protocol. But so I do see myself as someone who does get affected by things, but I was like that before,
yeah, yeah.
Sjogren's and everything else. I have changed my mindset and my lifestyle as well, though. And I feel like that's very important because I was very much a people pleaser before I got sick and tried to, even when I was sick and then I saw I couldn't. And I'm the kind of person that will just keep doing and keep going and not know, like, stop or have boundaries. And now I check in with myself. For example, today, after being so busy and having to carry a lot of stuff, and I just said, no, today I'm going to get an Uber here instead of carrying my laptop and this and that. No, I mean, I could do it. I've done it for the whole last week, but I make sure that I don't, like, I'm not some kind of slave to everyone and everything, and that I do keep in mind, am I looking after my body? Am I looking after my mind? Am I having that space? All these things I feel are important. One of our root causes that we said that you was trauma and stress. And so thanks to your recommendation of that meditation app, which I have been using pretty much up until I even did it this morning, and that has really helped with my stress levels. And I know if I don't have the boundaries, if I do have the stress, if I don't take my supplements, even the nutrition, I can really feel it when I haven't eaten the right way. It's keeping me going because I've been doing it, but I have to be consistent. It's not something that you just let go of everything and you're okay.
Yeah, it's not something that you just do once and that's over. This
Yeah.
is what your body needs to keep going. It's like when you buy a car, you don't just put petrol in it once,
Yeah.
and you have to keep fueling it, but in the right way. And so the petrol that you're drinking is is the
Yes.
you know what I mean? The petrol that you're taking is there's certain it's a certain blend,
It's a good blend.
It's not a blend that is right for everybody. So some cars need a diesel petrol, and some use unleaded. Some need, some engines need high octane unleaded. At my allotment, there's a generator there, and I bought the cheap unleaded to put in it, and it just didn't work. It runs my car fine, but I put it in this generator, and it just wouldn't start. It wouldn't go. And I was trying and trying and trying to get it going. This is actually a good analogy that I've never thought of before.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening. I kept pulling the thing and it's driving me crazy. Like, why isn't it starting? And I was doing the throttle and everything. I couldn't figure it out. And then someone told me, oh, you have to put a high octane petrol in it. It doesn't work on just the E10 or whatever it was. And I went back to the petrol station, switched it out, got all the other petrol out, put this new stuff in, and it worked perfectly. Just that engine, different engines need different types of fuel. So that's what is in your plan, was like, it was the things that we figured out that your body needed more
Yeah.
of. And
Yeah, everybody obviously needs something different. I just want to add something else for lifestyle as well, that you were asking how my life has changed. I used to always be a very summer person. I loved the sun. I'd be out in it all the time. When I got Sjogren's, the sun really fatigued me. I couldn't go out in the sun. I'd have to stay in. This year, I'm back to being able to be out in the sun all day. I mean, I'm careful, obviously, for lots of reasons and whatever. But yeah, and I just,
amazing.
summer used to be my favorite.
You had to wear sunglasses all the time.
I had to wear, oh God, yeah, I had to
The
wear
eye
sunglasses.
sensitivity in your eyes was going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. It was horrible. I had that for years. I would end up in hospital because of it. I get these like ocular migraines, all sorts of things.
That's no longer. Yeah, it's amazing.
I've got my favorite season back. I'm able to enjoy my
Good.
season. Yeah.
It's amazing. I guess, like, why actually why did you approach us in the first place?
I approached you in the first place because I had gone through the only thing I knew, which was the GP told me about the rheumatology. They didn't really help. So then I went to a private rheumatologist who was worse than the NHS one. I mean, they were awful.
In what way?
And pardon?
In what way were they worse?
She was very rushed, even though it was private.
Yeah.
She was running late for her things. So she was just like, I wanted to get a word in, ask a question. And she was like, no, not right now. She was going out the door and I was able to ask one question. She was just kind of like, she did all the tests. I mean, check my spit or whatever, but it just, that has already been done. That's not what.
Yeah, they're not treating you. They're not healing you. They're
no.
They're not even attempting to heal you. Obviously, that's pretty obvious. Maybe it's not so obvious, actually. That's a good question. Okay, so that was happening. That would be interesting to discuss that in a second. But so you came to us because
I found out about
rheumatology. Okay.
I found out about, so rheumatology was bad, but they just said have Plaquenil, hydroxychloroquine. I did try that for about 60 days and it made me psychotic for a minute, and I stopped right then. And I kept watching these functional medicine practitioners in America, not here. I didn't know of any here. And I kept thinking, that's what I need. That's what I need. Somebody to see exactly the root cause and also like actually treat me like properly. I can't even, that's another video about rheumatologists. Anyway, so then one day I just thought, let me just Google functional medicine Sjogren's. I think I said UK maybe even, and you came up. And I really thought that, all my prayers had been answered because I didn't know that there would be a functional medicine practitioner who specialized in Sjogren's. I mean, that's a dream.
Yeah, well, it's very, very uncommon that people focus on this, even though it's the second most common autoimmune condition.
Yeah.
Which is why I did. And I maybe won't go into the details of that now, but it's something that, it's just that the understanding of Sjogren's is so dire, both amongst in conventional medicine. Your rheumatologist probably didn't know much about Sjogren's either, I imagine.
No, I don't think they do. Yeah.
It's just very high level. Imagine like you're you're treating people with rheumatoid arthritis and many different autoimmune conditions. Like you can't, I spent a good couple of years just on Sjogren's.
Yeah.
And I still now, like this is before I even started practicing specifically with Sjogren's, and I still now feel like I've only just scratched the surface. And
Yeah.
I know what I need to know to
Yeah.
work with people, but unless someone's done a proper deep dive on a single condition, I can't understand how they could really treat it effectively, which is why people aren't getting treated effectively.
Yeah.
Not to mention that in the medical system, their toolkit for treatment is a few medications. It's a few.
Yeah.
It's either this or this or this. There's not many. It's hydroxychloroquine, a couple of like immunosuppressants for, and they only really pull them out when it's a major flare up. If you're not in a major
That's
flare up,
right.
you're not going to get them. Maybe on a small dosage, but that's pretty uncommon.
It was their last resort for me.
Yeah, and so it just ends up being, well, eye drops and artificial saliva, and they obviously don't even take into consideration the other symptoms like digestive symptoms. That's not even part of rheumatology. That's for someone else to worry about. If you're lucky, you'll get a gastro consultant, but they're not going to deal with it either because again, they don't have the toolkit to actually treat these issues. It's just band-aid solution after band-aid solution.
Yeah.
No,
they don't. I mean, rheumatology, when I first went, or one of the times that I went, they just said to me, you'll just get better information if you go on the arthritis something website, which is
arthritis, maybe. Is it versus arthritis?
Yeah. So that's what rheumatology specialists are
showing.
Yeah,
it's pretty superficial there as well. I mean, but by focusing on it, that has enabled me and us as Beyond Sjogren's to really know what helps specifically with Sjogren's. Like they're different. Sjogren's is an autoimmune condition, but not all autoimmune conditions are the same. And I think there's a lot of lumping together of things out there when you, especially on the natural side of things, when you start researching, diets for this or supplements for that. It's like autoimmune is all lumped together, but it's not the same thing. And I think especially with Sjogren's, this is something which I'm pretty sure like 99% plus of practitioners don't realize, is that Sjogren's is not just an autoimmune issue. This is like a major thing that maybe our approach differs from almost anything you'll read out there for sure. Or if you went to practitioners that aren't specialized in Sjogren's, there's also hormonal issues and nervous system issues. And in many ways, I think the immune system side of things is actually the minor of the other two. It's involved and it's important, and so when you go to a rheumatologist, the only thing they're thinking about is the immune system. How do we turn on the immune? How do we modulate it, or which is hydroxychloroquine, or how do we turn it off because it ain't working? Let's turn it. Just stop it. Stop the whole thing, basically. So when we do our recommendations, we're not just thinking about how to reduce inflammation, that's an immune system problem, inflammation, but we're also thinking about all of the other systems that are involved that are playing this elaborate dance together to get them to play nice. And
exactly. And you're looking at people as the person, the individual, and not that you're not looking at it as, like you say, like obviously your knowledge of Sjogren's and it's Sjogren's, but you're looking at the person, not the disease, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because Sjogren's is the symptom. I think of Sjogren's as the symptom.
I agree.
It's not the cause.
I agree.
Sjogren's is not the cause of the symptoms. Sjogren's is the symptoms.
I agree.
So what is the cause of the symptoms? So when you think about it like that, then you're thinking about the person as a whole. What is going on? What is going on with them physically, emotionally in their life that is producing this symptom, which is Sjogren's? So you don't treat symptoms. That's what conventional medicine tries to do very unsuccessfully with things like Sjogren's. You have to treat the person, which involves these are the underlying or contributing factors that are leading to these dysfunctional processes, which have been labeled Sjogren's.
I love that you said that, because that's how I feel inside, but I feel like, the medical world are saying it differently. So I'm really happy that you said that, because I totally feel that. Yeah. And especially because you've healed a lot of, I mean, I'm healed from what I was. So before, like last year, I'm healed from that. And yeah, so why are my Sjogren symptoms not showing up? Because
Yeah,
those
well,
things have been addressed.
so do you feel like have you healed from Sjogren's? Like how do you think about that?